Ukrainian forces continue to advance in the Donetsk region, with special forces conducting raids and clearing operations in residential areas in the region. Russian units are weak in defense, and Ukrainian forces are aware of this and are launching shock attacks. Air support also contributes to the operation during critical advances. Although there is a shortage of aircraft, they participate in critical operations. Although the area is being cleared by infantry going house to house, the greatest forces of this operation are the drones. With continuous vision support and kamikaze attacks, they increase the operational power to very high levels. Footage of a failed drone attack is of a Russian kamikaze drone. The drone is seen trying to blow up a Ukrainian vehicle, but it fails to explode. You can see that the vehicle is loaded with ammunition. Luckily, the drone fails to blow itself up. A Russian T-80 tank is attacked by a drone carrying a large explosive device. Once a powerful force on the battlefield, the T-80 tank is now fighting against Ukraine's advanced drone warfare. Despite its high speed and firepower, the T-80 has critical weaknesses that make it an easy target for FPV drones, kamikaze UAVs, and stray munitions. PZH-2000 used by Ukraine targets Russian infantry in a snowy forest and a Russian armored vehicle in a village. This self-propelled howitzer was among the support given to Ukraine by Germany. It is used effectively. Look here. A lightly armored vehicle hidden in the ruins inside the village is destroyed with a single shot. This German technology, which has perfect target accuracy, is used very efficiently in war. Although not very many, Ukraine still has many working PZH-2000s. The Russian Mechanized division, which was spotted near the Siversk region, is being attacked by Ukrainian forces. The operation draws attention with the use of HIMARS and artillery fire many times. The first shock attack is made on the advancing convoy with successive artillery fire. This high firepower disrupts the Russian convoy's order. Russian forces panic. Armored carriers are quickly advancing into wooded areas to protect themselves. But this time, drone attacks are added to the continuous artillery fire. Do you see the armored frame built on the vehicles? These are one of the things implemented by the Russians to protect against drones. But they still cannot provide an effective defense against the drones' high explosives. Realizing that they are easier targets in the vehicles, Russian soldiers get out of the vehicles and start to disperse. They increase their chances of survival by running to different places. However, drones detect the Russian soldiers and go after them. All vehicles that soldiers can use to escape are still being destroyed. While artillery units are targeting the vehicles, drones are chasing the soldiers who are escaping. If we look around, there is nowhere to escape in this terrain. Only skinny trees and endless flat land. They cannot avoid being an open target. You can see that Russian forces use small, all-terrain vehicles in such terrain. These have faster maneuverability. Here are a few Russian soldiers trying to escape with an all-terrain vehicle, but they encounter mines and drone attacks along the way. It doesn't seem possible to continue. They have no choice but to get out of the vehicle and escape with injuries. All vehicles are destroyed. A building used as a shelter by the Russians during an operation carried out by the 144th Special Operations Forces near Pokrovsk has come under Ukrainian control. The building is reduced to rubble by drone attacks. A Ukrainian soldier participating in the operation sees 9 Russian soldiers coming out of the building. These Russian soldiers, who appear to the drones, surrender. They follow the drone and advance. A Ukrainian soldier takes them and continues alone with 9 prisoners. The images of the wounded, weak, and powerless Russian soldiers attract attention. The moments when the Ukrainian soldier helps them advance were reflected on the cameras. The war in Ukraine is intensifying as Ukrainian forces launch devastating counteroffensive strikes against Russian positions. recent drone footage reveals Ukrainian precision attacks on Russian trenches, armored vehicles, and supply convoys across the Donetsk and Zaporizhzhia front lines as Russia attempts to fortify its defensive lines. Ukrainian troops are pushing forward with high-tech drone warfare, precision artillery strikes, and mechanized assaults. In the Bakhmut sector, Ukrainian reconnaissance teams have identified and eliminated multiple Russian positions using FPV drones and HIMARS rocket systems. Ukrainian Bradley leads an attack on a bunker with outnumbered Russian forces. This armored vehicle, with its intense destructive power, brings great destruction. This armored vehicle uses high-explosive incendiary ammunition. It's impossible for a house like this to stand up to those shells. The shells pierce through the walls. The soldiers inside have no chance of survival. The Mi-24 attack helicopter, originally designed by the Soviet Union, has become a key weapon in Ukraine's air force, striking Russian armored convoys, infantry positions, and supply routes with precision. One of the Mi-24's biggest advantages is its speed and armor, allowing it to perform hit-and-run strikes while withstanding enemy fire. Ukrainian pilots have adapted low-altitude attack tactics, using terrain cover to evade Russian air defenses and launch surprise assaults on enemy positions. The Bradley is ambushed by Russian soldiers in the Kursk region of Ukraine. Initially surviving the attack, the vehicle attempts to move away from the area. The Ukrainian soldiers exit the vehicle as there is a risk of the vehicle exploding, but they continue to move, protected from the attacks from its armor. Soldiers are fleeing rapidly with air support to get away from the area. In this ambush set up by the Russians, although the fire reaches its target, the vehicle continues on its way without exploding. A Russian military convoy of 8 men on motorbikes was spotted by drones on its way to the Kursk region. These vehicles, which are frequently used by the Russians to move more easily on snowy terrain, make them completely vulnerable to any attack, no matter how efficient they are. While Russian troops are moving on motorbikes, the first attack by Ukrainian drones is taking place. They started to panic. Now they're trying to escape. But the drones are after them now. It's a big mistake to continue in a convoy again, because being in the same direction makes it impossible for the drone to follow more than one target, and then attacks on other members of the group. In a short time, the entire motorbike unit is destroyed by drones. As the war between Ukraine and Russia continues, discussions about potential peace negotiations have once again surfaced. While both sides have suffered heavy casualties and significant territorial destruction, finding a diplomatic solution remains extremely difficult.